Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen, and I'm here with Chris from Human Head Studios, and we're looking at Prey 2. So, first things first, how does Prey 2 connect to Prey 1?
Well, there's a number of connections between it, and really what we wanted to do with Prey 2 is we want to explore a new part of the overall Prey universe. So in Prey 2, you play a brand new protagonist by the name of Killian Samuels, and he finds himself on this distant planet called Exodus. And when he wakes up on Exodus, he has no recollection of how he got there. And the game is kind of uncovering who Killian is and what he's been up to there. And while he's been there, he's turned himself into a bounty hunter on this planet. Of course, it's awesome.
As you do.
So he's turned himself into a bounty hunter on this planet, and he thinks he's the only human until he runs into Tommy from Prey 1. The story is about Killian and Tommy kind of uncovering what's going on this planet and their overall roles in this planet.
So while people might look at this, and if they only get a brief glimpse of it, they might just write it off as being just another FPS. But having seen some of the stuff today, there's so much more thought that goes into the background of it. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, if I were to sum up the game in one sentence, I would say it's an open world shooter where you play a badass bounty hunter in a sci-fi world. Done, right? Sold?
Yeah. Sold, totally. We don't need to know any more about it. But no, I mean, seriously, there were some elements, taking up bounties or scanning the people. Can you, for those of us who haven't seen it, can you explain about scanning and picking up on ambient targets, that sort of thing?
Well, because it's an open world game, you get to choose where you go, what missions you take. Well, one of the things you could do is you could avoid taking missions entirely. You could just wander around the world, find ambient encounters. One version of that is ambient bounties. So there are people hanging around the world who have a price on their head for whatever reason. As a bounty hunter, you want to find them, track them down. You've got a lot of different tools for doing so. One of them is a scanner. You can scan around the world, find a target, decide if he's wanted dead or alive, and then it's your choice what you do. But one of the really cool things about the missions is that a lot of the missions offer you choice throughout it. Not necessarily only in how you approach the mission, if you want to go in tactically, stealthy, like how you'd want to go in, but in the missions there are choices, very definite choices you can take. For example, we've got one mission where you need to recover some stolen weapons for a particular character. You go and you find the weapons, and then there's a point where you can go, hey, wait a minute, I did all the work, maybe I want to keep these weapons. So you can decide to keep them, and if you decide to keep them, the client is pissed, the client's going to come after you, he's going to send some heavy hitters to take you down. So there's a lot of choice throughout the game, not only through the gadgets, but also just in terms of your interactions with the various characters in the world.
Will the game play out differently if you choose to play as someone who keeps very much to themselves and doesn't interrupt the muggings on the street and does everything by the book? Will there be much of a difference at the end of the game than if you went through and were like, right, I'm just going to kill everybody who comes my way and take out the security cameras?
Well, there is a reputation system to the game, but essentially what you get out of being a good guy or a bad guy, we want to have more shorter term and mid-term ramifications, like that example I gave about the mission. So if I go around and gun people down, the security system's going to try to take me down. If I choose to change the mission and branch the mission by keeping those weapons, then it's going to change my interaction with that client.
Excellent. What is the one thing that you personally are most looking forward to about Prey 2?
I love the player choice. I love the fact that we're designing a game that players can go in, play how they want. If they want to be more stealthy, they can. If they want to be more guns blazing, we give them the tools for that. It's really, really cool, and I'm actually really excited to see how some people play through the missions that we have. There's in our user testing, it's been really awesome to see how people use the different gadgets in ways that we didn't even expect they were going to use them.
Is this the last time that we will be seeing the Prey universe, or do Killian and Tommy still have more adventures to come?
Well, we're not really talking about any future games. We've got a lot of ideas about what we could do with future games, though. Well, some of the tech changes that we made to the game, we're using heavily modified idTech 4. So it's a great engine to work from. We're very familiar with it. We love it. We're working with Bethesda. They're the masters of tech. So we're working with them on this. But some of the things that we did to the engine was we expanded it out for an open world game. So we can see much, much longer distances. We can have a lot more characters on screen. And we've changed the lighting system around to be physical-based lighting. So it's very realistic. It looks really good. Much easier for our environmental artists to work in the engine. They can put lights down. The light properly bounces around. It's really cool. That's what gives us the awesome visuals that we have in Prey 2. Because
the graphics and the aesthetic that goes with Prey 2, that's pretty cool. It's really nice to see color making a comeback into games these days.
Yeah, that was a big thing. We're calling it Alien Noir. And so we're influenced not only by noir in terms of tone, but obviously visually, in terms of bright colors and areas that are, some areas that are darker, but some areas are brighter, the contrast. So it's an awesome look, we're really excited about it, and we think a lot of people are really digging it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.